Hi guys and girls, welcome back to Watch Your Time. Thanks for tuning back in. Thanks for coming back to see me. I'm really pleased you've done so, and I'm really pleased about to bring you a Steeldive. This is one that I featured in my anniversary, one of my sale videos. This one just looked unbelievable value for money. And during the sale, you can pick this up for about £40. It's the SD1953. It's not one of the new offerings, but the colorway is a little bit more newer, if you like, more vibrant. I did really like the color. They offered it on 4 different sort of straps. You got the sort of traditional Jubilee. You had an oyster bracelet. You had, I don't know if I can use these terms anymore, but I mean, you'll know what I'm saying. A couple of different rubber straps to choose from. One's on the bracelet sold out double rapid. So if you didn't get one, I'm really sorry, guys. But do keep an eye out. Like I say, Seiko movement, sapphire crystal. I even tested the Cyclops is even sapphire crystal, which sometimes on the more affordable pieces doesn't tend to be the case. So that was really nice to see. Like I say, for £40, yeah, I think you're going to really struggle. And I do think this is the best budget diver, really, probably on the market. My opinion could change as we go through the video because there may be some real red herrings to be aware of. But yeah, we'll find out together as always. If you'd like to watch, please use the link in the description. It's an affiliate link. Doesn't cost you any more. Just makes your life a bit easier. But I'm going to stop going on, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Sit back, relax. It's about that time to get the camera turned around and get on with it. All right, guys, so this is the watch. Usual packaging, Steeldive briefcase, pretty hard. 4 clips just to keep it closed. I've already unclipped it, and there's the watch. I've put all the stuff you get inside, so you'll see there's an instruction manual, there's a warranty card unsigned. I've just left it in there. You can see I've taken 4 links out for it to fit my wrist. There's just a bit of foam that the watch also comes on. Nothing too elaborate, very primitive in terms of packaging. Inner foam, one on either side of the briefcase, just to keep it sort of in place. And there you are. And this is the watch. As I say, you'd have seen this in my sale video. I thought for the money, it was an absolute belter. You'll see off the offset, this is one of the better Cyclopses I've had as well in terms of the alignment. That is done really well. I don't like Cyclopses, if I'm honest, but this one is done well. So there you go. So the model number for this is the SD1953. Been around a while. I just really like the color, the sort of turquoise with blue going on there. I think it's really cool. But yeah, SD1953. Inside, it's running a Seiko NH35 movement. I'll bring some information up about that movement now. What can I say about this movement, guys? Rugged, reliable, all the superlatives that's been thrown at it for good reason. 24 joules, 21,600 beats per hour. Yeah, this one's been running about 6 seconds faster a day. And for a watch that costs £40, with the specs this has got, and to have a Seiko movement inside running at those sort of parameters, it is kind of unbelievable, really. It's something we've become a little bit used to now. But if you take a second to think, that is quite remarkable that you can have a movement from a known entity running at those sort of parameters. So yeah, Seiko NH35 movement also has a 4R35 when in an actual Seiko watch. The construction of the watch, aside from the crystal and the bezel insert, is all 316L stainless steel. So you'll see there's brushing at the top of the case, polished at the sides. That continues with the bracelet, polished at the sides. Push pins, partly milled clasp, but the outer shell is pressed, but hardly surprising. They've still made it look pretty good. In the inner part is milled, but as I said, 316L stainless steel. Several holes, micro adjust holes to make it smaller or bigger, depending on what you've got it situated as. The case back is 316L stainless steel, solid in links, and you'll see you've got deep etched on there as well. So yeah, 316L stainless steel, mixture of brushing and polishing, and for the price, it's done pretty well, to be honest, in terms of the transitions and stuff. But hardly surprising. Steeldive do some good bits, don't they, for the price. The case thickness of the watch is 13.3 millimeters. The case diameter, I normally measure from sort of here to here. It was coming in at 41.3 millimeters. When you go from the 9 to the 3, including the crown, it was coming at 44.6 millimeters. The lug width for this is 20. That does taper down to 18 and back up to 20 mil at that clasp. And the lug to lug, tip to tip. So when you exclude the male end links or the center links, it comes in at bang on 48 millimeters. And when you include those center links, which do downturn a little bit, so it doesn't add a huge amount, but it does become 53 millimeters, guys. So just bear that in mind in terms of the proportions of the watch. The bezel is a ceramic 120 click unidirectional bezel. I'll let you take a listen. Excuse my hand being in the way. And it does line up really, really well. No bounce, no backplay, no problem. So yes, 120 click unidirectional bezel. The crown is situated at 3 o'clock. It's a screw down crown, nicely nailed. Crown guards are not interfering with engagement with the crown at all. So that's good. And let's unscrew it because we'll be using that in a few moments anyway. Pops away from the case reasonably well. And like I said, knurling's done good. The screw down case back, I did already show you. It's deep etched with Steeldive on there. Screwed down as well. So there you go. That's the case back. Just the information on there that I'm going to run through now anyway. The bracelet, as I said, has got a couple of mil of taper, push pins, keeping it secure, partly mill clasp, as I said, outer shell is just the shell, as I've said, deep etched on there, Steeldive on there as well. So yeah, that's all good. The bezel, as I said, is a ceramic bezel. The crystal covering the dial is a sapphire crystal, and also, as is the Cyclops, which isn't always the case on these sort of more budget pieces. So the Cyclops and the crystal, both sapphire crystal, which is good to see. The water resistance is 300 meters, so you can see that down at the 6 o'clock position. That'll give you 30 atmospheres of water resistance, and the weight will appear in the top right. It's just above 166 grams with those 4 links removed. With those 4 links back in, you're going to be touching about 180. So yeah, a good bit of heft in this watch, and well sized generally. I know the male links are going to add it, make it a bit longer. Yeah, not bad at all. But let's have a look at the dial in just a bit more detail. So you've got a minute track going around the outer edge. Inside of that, you have applied elements everywhere except for the 3 o'clock position where you've got the date window and the Cyclops, obviously. You've got circular battens everywhere except for the 6, 9, and 12. At the 12 o'clock position, you've got an inverted triangle. At the 6 and 9, you got a rectangular batten. And as I say, everywhere else, you got a circular batten. They're high polished, as are the hands. You'll see the hands are very synonymous with a more well-known watch, which this watch is obviously taking a lot of inspiration from. That blue sunburst dial is beautiful. I'm not sure I like the fact there's such a big gap with the rehaut, if I'm being honest. I think that would be the one thing that they didn't need to do. It doesn't need to be quite so deep. It's something that's quite noticeable when you're wearing it. Maybe that's something to think about. But yeah, like I said, Steeldive printed onto the dial just below the inverted triangle at the 12. They've not left a lot of room, have they, from the inverted triangle to the logo. And just above the batten at the 6, you've got automatic 300M, so 300 meters of water resistance. Do bear in mind, though, guys, these watches are not certified. But bearing the fact that the crown is screwed down, the crystal is nicely seated, the case back screwed down, I wouldn't have any issue taking this swimming. I wouldn't do much deep diving with it unless you want to lose your watch, but it is quite inexpensive. You probably could replace it. But yeah, that's that. The loom, I'll bring the loom up now. So the loom on this is fantastic, to be honest. Like, not that you'd expect anything different. The loom you're seeing at the moment, it wasn't charged for very long. It was just a case of being under studio lighting, turn the lights off as you've seen, and this is how it was performing. So yeah, good loom. I had no reason to doubt it would be good. And like I said, when I charge it under a UV light and left it next to my bed, even better, because it's obviously had a bit of charge. Or if you was in the sun for a while, you'll see the same sort of thing. So yeah, good loom on there. The movement, as I said, is an NH35 movement. You take the crown out, it does hack. You put it back in, it will start back up again. Turn it away from you, you can charge the movement. Take it out to the first position. You'll see the dates just in where the Cyclops is, and you can scroll through and put it to wherever you want. And as you would do normally, if you want to take the crown out, you can just adjust it to whatever position you'd like. And there you go. And then once you're obviously done, you can just screw the crown back up. As you'll see, no problems whatsoever in terms of the crown engagement. And that's the dial, that's the movement, that's everything going on there, guys. Let me just pop it on the wrist quickly, give you an idea of what it looks like on my wrist in studio conditions. Just one moment, guys. Okay, so guys, this is what it looks like on me. I think it's a very, very striking piece. The crystal clarity for an inexpensive watch is good as well. You can see they've put a reasonable amount of AR coating on there. And yeah, I think it looks really, really nice. What do you want to make of it? Okay, so guys and girls, that would now take me on to what I think is pants and Pukka about the watch. If you've ever watched before, you know I always start with pants. I like to kind of hide with Pukka. So what I think is pants, I'm going to be honest, guys, I was really struggling given the sort of cost of the watch, because cost obviously dictates value, doesn't it? So I mean, it was very, very difficult. The only thing I'm going to mention in terms of what I think is pants is the rehaut gap. It does look a bit too pronounced. If I'm honest, I'd like that to be a bit less. It just feels like there's a bit of a gap between the top of the case and the dial itself. Yeah, so the rehaut gap is the only thing I want to mention. So there you go. What I think is Pukka is a lot more, to be honest, hardly surprising. I'm going to go with the Sapphire Crystal. The Sapphire Crystal, unbelievable for the price. The dial for the color. They say also you can get the same sort of color bezel, so that might be something to consider. I didn't see that at the time of purchasing, but yeah, I think it works nicely with the black as the bezel as well, adds a bit of contrast with color. The Cyclops, as I've said, you'll see that the Cyclops is bang on. If you want a Cyclops on your watch, you couldn't hope for it to be any better than that. It fills the whole Cyclops, is aligned perfectly. Unbelievable for the value, for the money spent. The movement, a Seiko NH35 movement in a £40 watch. What's there not to like? The loom, incredible loom. Like I said, that's normally one of the areas where companies will try and save money. Steeldive haven't done that, which is good to see. The bezel, in terms of you'll see there's a good coining on the bezel. 120 click unidirectional, no bounce, no backplay, and bang on alignment. All you could ever want. The execution, in terms of how this watch is put together, like I say, no points for originality, but in terms of how they've done it, very, very good. And the price, like I said, picking this up for £40, £45 is quite remarkable, guys. If you're going to go on Amazon, you're looking at maybe a few quartz pieces and Casios and stuff like that. So to be able to pick up a Steeldive with this sort of level of finishing and with the specs and the execution is phenomenal. So they're the things I mentioned. I'll go with the Sapphire Crystal, dial, Cyclops, movement, loom, bezel, execution, and the price of the watch. And guys and girls, that would lead me on to, would I recommend this watch? Let me just take a moment. Of course I would. I'd struggle. I wanted to build the anticipation, but I mean, I don't think there's a better value dive watch, like a budget dive watch around than this Steeldive. If there is, please point it out to me and I would endeavor to get it on the channel as soon as possible. But yeah, guys, I would definitely recommend this watch. An absolute banger at £40. But guys and girls, as I always say, please let me know what you think about this watch, more importantly, and maybe any other watches you may want to see on the channel. And as I always say, don't forget to like, subscribe, and always watch your time. Take care, guys. All the very best.